Hey there, welcome back to my channel. I'm super excited to have a fun spa day with you guys. As you can tell by the title, today we're going over an extensive repair routine. This is not something I do every day, but I've been really neglecting my feet and I've been working nonstop the last few weeks. So today we're going to go through a bunch of different things that I actually do often in separate timings, but today we're going to do it all together so hopefully you learn some things that might be helpful for you to maintain your feet. If you're also a dancer, maybe you just work and stand on your feet all day. A lot of these things are super easy to do, and frankly, they make a huge difference if you're consistent. So I've been neglecting my feet. It's time to go help give them a little TLC. So let's go.
First up is my EMS massage pad. EMS stands for electrical muscle stimulation, and it actually sends electrical currents through the muscles to help them contract. And I find that, you can have it a little bit too high, and that's what I'm reacting to. Your feet are creating a closed circuit, and I usually like to start on maybe about level 3, because anything higher than that, for me personally, I can't tolerate, and I know I've been abusing my feet if we get to a 6 and I'm still not feeling anything. So you could work up slowly. It sends just stronger contractions, but I really find that if I stick with it, it's about 10 minutes, I think, for the cycle. Afterwards, I don't even know how, but I do feel better. It's pretty crazy technology, but it's been something that I've been incorporating a little bit more easily into my nighttime routine by using it when I'm brushing my teeth. So instead of sitting down and doing it sort of as a separate part of my routine, I've found that that's a really great way to incorporate it into what I'm already doing. Next up, we have our classic electric foot massager. I really love a high need and high pressure setting. It really helps reset me when I can't get to an actual human being to give my feet some TLC. Every time I use it, I think, why don't I do this more often? I do try to keep it conveniently stashed right under my couch to make it as accessible as possible. But, it's the little things that we forget we can take advantage of. Now I'm on to a foot soak. This one is probably the most labor intensive because I'm going to do a hot foot soak with Epsom salts as well as an ice soak. So we're going to have to set up 2 buckets for that, one filled with ice and the other with hot water. The little buckets that I'm using are meant for hot and cold water, so just make sure that the containers you're using are safe because I'm actually boiling this water and you don't want to melt the plastic if you end up using a plastic or another material that's not meant to hold, high temperatures. And just to be super clear, I'm not dipping my feet into the boiling water. I'm just reducing the amount of water I have to heat up in the kettle by using room temperature water plus the boiling water to achieve a nice warm toasty temperature, but definitely not just using straight up boiling water. I usually like to start dipping my feet in the ice water and I leave them there as long as possible. And once I can't stand it anymore, I stick them into the hot water, let them soak and come back to life. And then I go back to the cold, back to the hot. And I do this for as many rounds as I can, or basically until the ice melts.
I can make room for you. I know. I'm helping my feet. Yeah. What a good boy.
The reason that switching in between hot water and cold water is really therapeutic for the feet is that cold water is a vasoconstrictor, meaning that it helps to close the blood vessels, while hot water, on the other hand, does the opposite. It helps your tissue to be warmed up and your blood will flow a little bit better. And so when you're doing both in combination, switching between one and the other in a cycle, it's actually sort of creating this pumping mechanism. So that way you're encouraging the blood to flow in the area that you're soaking. So I try to do this at least 3 to 4 times, but I really just go until the ice has completely melted. Please be aware that water is actually quite heavy and I almost hurt my back trying to lift up both buckets at the same time. So just be careful and make sure that if you are transporting them, that you're incredibly careful as you pick the buckets up. Next up, I'm going to try something fun. I picked up this foot peeling mask from my local TJ Maxx, and so it's a Korean foot mask, and apparently it will make my feet super soft. So I have to put them on my nice clean feet, from the soaking and let them sit for about 15-20 minutes, and we'll see how that goes.
Not to eat.
Of course, Max thought that the ripping sound meant that he was getting a treat, but 'twas not, unfortunately for him. Please enjoy this footage of me completely struggling to figure out how to get this very two-dimensional looking foot pad onto my feet. I couldn't figure out where it opened at first, but we finally got it. And yes, guys, I knew which side was up. It was just sealed so tight, it didn't seem like I could even open it to get my foot in. That was the struggle. I promise I have a baseline of intelligence. I was debating to put some socks on top, but it seems like I was able to walk around well enough without them, so I was just careful. I didn't walk too much because I didn't want to fall. I did walk far enough to check on my snack, which is soaked lentils and peas. They're a really fun and easy way to get some extra nutrients and super tasty and crunchy, so highly recommend it. I love these peas so much. They're super sweet, and they only take about a day to 48 hours to be ready to eat. Alrighty, the moment of truth. I did recall that my feet felt much softer after. It was a really lovely little spa treatment, and I made sure to give myself a little massage. Whenever I'm massaging my feet and my ankles, I always try to hit the back of the ankle with the open side of my palm, and I get in between the toes as well. This is something that I like to do regardless if I'm doing my spa days or not, with just some body lotion after a shower. I like to make sure that I get a little bit of the circulation going, especially if I've been in heels all night. It's great to stretch out the toes and just get the circulation going. I'm also trying to be better about remembering to stretch right after I take my shoes off, especially if I've been in my heels for many hours. Just as soon as I get off of the heels, stretching out the Achilles tendon, flexing my toes and wiggling them around, stretching them out with my fingers. It makes my feet feel so much better than if I were just to be lazy and put my shoes on, because they've just sort of been stuck and constricted in one position for many hours. So take the extra couple of minutes when you take your dance shoes off to give your feet a little love. And we have now arrived to the final step of my extensive spa day. I am going to be using my Saluma red light device, which I love. I've had for many years now, and it's a super easy device to use. It has a couple of settings, this particular model, but I'm going to use the healing setting. So I just turn it on and I set it up. It has a 30-minute timer for the cycle, and I am able to position it however I want. I usually like to have it directly over my ankles. I find that that's the easiest way to use it. Sometimes I will also actually put my feet directly on top of it to get a little healing energy right under my feet. I also like to use it on my knees and around the ankles, so it's quite a flexible panel. I used to try to use a red light bulb, and I burned myself so many times that it was just worth it to get a panel that I was able to use in many different positions without risk of burning myself. So highly recommend finding a red light panel that works for you. And something that I definitely don't take advantage of enough for all of its amazing benefits is using the red light device on my face. Yep, it can be really amazing for your facial skin, but this is something that I would like to do more and more often, but it's really hard for me to just sit around for 30 minutes. So I usually just put on a podcast when I'm able to get myself to stay still for this amount of time. I really like red light therapy because it's non-invasive, and the way that it works is by using low wavelength red and near infrared light to stimulate your skin's own healing process. So basically using your body's own natural healing mechanisms and just giving them a bit of a boost. Definitely check out the description below if you want to see some of the studies.
And that's a wrap on our spa day. Thank you so much for coming along. I hope it was helpful for you guys to learn some new techniques. I will try my best to link all of the products down below, either directly in the description or it will be in my Amazon shop as well. So if there's anything you're interested in, you could find the product or an alternative down below. And please let me know in the comments if there's anything else that you do that helps maintain your feet and keep them in top shape, because I'm always looking for new tricks. So hope you found this helpful, and I will see you next time. Bye.